Now on the last DVD we got one panel of 4. I got the upper panel of the outer wing done, and there's 3 to go. But boy, old age is setting in. My arm is feeling like a rubber band after all this. I'm going to try to get one more done today. And you know what I use for inspiration is I just like to look at one of the ones that's the only one that's buffed, and maybe that'll inspire me to greatness. I don't know if that's possible. Anyway, on the last DVD we were watching TV, looking at the leading edge of the wing and the lettering. Well, the only problem is nobody's going to do this for me. I have not figured out a way to make the mice in the house do this for me. So I just got to suck it up and get over there. Now the only trouble with this panel is going to be that we really can't realistically, I guess we can take the lead outs out. No, because this end won't go through. I was just thinking of other things I could do to, well, I just got to be careful when I'm doing that wingtip. Basically exactly what we did before on the previous video, sand-o-matic, and do one panel at a time. Hopefully we'll minimize the snow. Maybe it'll even stop snowing today, although the problem is a couple days from now we're going to be leaving for Daytona, and whatever isn't buffed, when we get back from Daytona, there'll be nothing left to do except pack the box and leave for Phoenix. So, but it would be nice if I can get this panel done today. Exactly the same as the last panel. Now what I'm very impressed with here on this is how tired I'm getting at the end of doing this. Now it used to be, when I was younger, of course, which was a long time ago, I'd do a whole wing in one day. Tough guy stuff. No more. One panel a day now. I wonder if next year I'm going to be on like one open bay a day or something. But you know what? No matter what, it takes a little longer. And actually, all this snowblower nonsense is what is just draining. Unbelievable. But we're coming up on having this. That's the last of the open bays on the top of the inboard wing. And I'm ready to get out the tub of Gorhams here pretty soon. And what I always do is I look around. Let me show this. This is something that I find valuable. You know, I can see a little shiny spot up there that needs to be sanded a little more. Little spot up here. That corner needs to be sanded. Down here you can see the little, that's got to be sanded. So even though the whole panel's done, I'll spend a little more time. Actually, I'll spend a lot of time. I don't care how much time it is. I would rather have one panel done and have it as good as I can make it than the other thing of having a whole thing just done in some half-ass way. Yeah, I'm just looking at it carefully, and I see up here there's a couple little dots. I'm going to sand away at that a little bit. Just being meticulous. And the fussier you are in the end, and I always use this as my example. When I look up at the wall at last year's plane, front row, year before, front row, year before, front row. What I like to think is that everything should be front row. And if it's not front row, it should be because I put my fingernail in it or something. Not because I didn't do it when it was time to. Right now is the time to really be fussy. That, I guess, is the overriding point. And I am not going to go to sleep tonight until this panel is done. What a goal. Now sometimes, and I just wanted to put this on a video, sometimes when I'm doing this with the paper towels, it buffs up better with a microfiber. So what I always try to do early on is figure out if I want to do it with, it's all block sanded down now, and I just pick any spot at random. It doesn't really matter. And if it's going to come up, boy, I hate to think about how old I'm getting. I can remember old tradition, just sitting down, toughing it out till 2 o'clock in the morning, getting it all buffed out in one shot. No more. History. Let's see how long this is going to take to buff up. The most of it comes from the sanding. The buffing is only 10% of it. It's the main part of a really nice finish in my estimation. An area and wanted to do it in real time. And the parts that are flat, of course, the whole rest of it is flat. But even if you candle it, now I always have a dedicated microfiber that's got this on. There's a lot of times on an open bay, I don't know why, sometimes on an open bay, or a lot of times I should say, microfiber can be better, but I'm not sure, in my own way, I'm not sure why. If I were to take this one, just take any random open bay here, and my test is, at the end of buffing this panel, I want to be able to look at television in my finish. And if I can't, I'll keep buffing. Now for some reason, it's looking a lot like the microfiber is doing just as good. Sometimes it doesn't though, and I don't know why. To be honest, Bob Brookins probably knows why, but I don't. Now that one came up relatively quickly. But again, if you try it both ways, you'll always have the best of both worlds if you do it both ways. And if you can get it block sanded, the buffing part of it, of course we've got another hour, maybe hour and a half, that'll come up relatively quickly. So we have to give it our test. Can we watch television? Can we see a stunt pattern? Can we judge a stunt pattern in our finish? Well, I don't know. Let's see how about the blue. Is the blue shining up? I guess we can see a stunt pattern. That is my personal test for when I'm satisfied with a finish. Whether it's a motorcycle, a guitar, or doesn't matter what. I want to be able to watch television in it. Well, now that what's left is the bottom. I don't know if tomorrow is going to be an appropriate day to do the bottom, but even if we just have the top done, I think it's going to present a lot nicer. And well, you know, to me the appearance of the plane is everything. It's not a small insignificant thing that the plane is smooth to the touch, feels nice. It's there's a lot of dimensions of it that are important to me, maybe more important than they should be, in fact. But that's just me. Anyway, we're going to go see if, God forbid, we should be able to have it stop snowing out there soon. Now, this is for Richard Oliver. By the way, Rich, this is called a Schmidlap hat. This is when you live in a part of the country where it really gets cold. Not like Houston where it's fake cold. This is real cold, real snow. Now it's been snowing for the last couple hours. Actually, we're snowed. You can't even open the door. Oh my God. I guess, and it's still snowing. Now, I had this all cleared out yesterday. Totally cleared. This is why you need a Schmidlap hat. Let's see if I can open my garage door. This is always fun. Yeah, it's only about 4 inches, but I got to shovel this away because I can't open the damn door. So here we are. Do we want to go for a pleasant motorcycle ride? 2 days from now, we're going to be in Daytona Beach. Or do we want to go snow blow the driveway for the 4th time in 2 days? I don't know. It's a hard decision. And it's still coming down. Oh, you believe this? You believe this? This really is the story of the big job. I hate to admit it, but this is as much as the job as, oh my God, this never ends. Here's Big Job, Bill. This morning we're going to start on the bottom. I did around the perimeter. Got to do the open bays. We're going through, this is the next, we went through 2 jars of worms already. But it's really starting to come out. And if I can get both sides to look like this, by the end of the day, I'll really feel like I accomplished something. Problem is, at some point in time, it just gets boring. It just gets tiring. And I'm an old man. Let's face the facts. Now, can we see TV in our buff out on the bottom? Well, I don't know. And the top has a lot more clear on it, so. But I think that's going to be fine. We got 1 panel left to go. I'm looking at it down and now. You think that panel would just jump up on a table and buff itself out? I don't think so. Now, I was hoping, and I keep thinking this thing's going to buff out by itself, but you know what? 1 panel to go. And the sooner I tough it out. But they look terrible when they're not buffed out too. And as you can imagine, on the bottom, I put a lot less clear, so it's more prone to buff through. I had a couple of buff through little dots. In fact, I see one here. I didn't even buff. Oh no, that's wax. But as I'm going through this, I'll be very judicious about just touching up any of the spots where I go through. When that panel's done, we'll have the final cup of Javalia coffee. We'll celebrate, and you can't imagine how tired I am from all the snow blowing. But knowing, see, as I walk around the shop, just knowing that this is going to go to VSC, it definitely is now. Now this is like we're playing in the 4th quarter and the other team is never getting a football back. Absolutely, this has really been, between the snow and everything, wow. So I hope the people that, you know, ultimately get to see this plane and ultimately get to fly it, are going to appreciate what an adventure this whole winter was. Now, believe me, I could have never in my lifetime predicted the way this last few days played out with the snow and all the other issues. I am an hour away. I got a half a panel to do. And it just dawned on me. This was like a total bonus to be able to get this buffed out. I didn't think for a heartbeat as I came down the stretch. Even when I was mailing pictures out, I thought, oh man, we're never going to get buffing it would be not going to happen. Well, what's going to happen is I'm leaving for Daytona, and this plane is going to be buffed. It's going to be sitting there ready to put in a box. I'm not going to put it in the box. I don't want it to sit in the box in a damp cellar. So, and what'll happen when I get back from Bike Week, and we'll have some video from Bike Week, I hope. What's going to happen is I'm going to have 2 days, but during those 2 days, we have the last 2 days of our bathroom renovation. They're going to be putting the granite in, and I don't want to be away while there's guys in my bathroom. And when you see how this bathroom renovation came out, oh, you'll be impressed. It's like the big job of bathroom renovations. And Karen finally, after many trips, got the granite she wanted, and the sink, the faucets, the grout, everything. So she's as excited, but I'm more excited about having this done. And every time when I look at, here's one that's sanded and one that's buffed. And that's always my test. If you can see yourself, boy, if you only knew how happy I am. This plane is going to go to VSC buffed. I would have never guessed that for all the money in the world. Now, because what's going to happen is we're going to have a little extra time. We're certainly going to have time on this video. What I'm going to try to do is pull out some of the memories of buffing out planes. And if you look at some of this old video and you see some of the things that I buffed out, buffing out the carbon fiber parts was very different than buffing out open bays. I'm going to just try to, at the end of this video, at maybe right after I get done buffing here, because I'm going to have a couple hours while Karen's packing. Can you imagine we're buffing and an hour later we're going to be packing? I'll try to find some of those memorable moments of buffing out planes from windy videos. There's the one buff through on this panel. I buffed through here. And you can see, I think that was probably, I just didn't put enough clear on from holding that handle there. I'm not sure why, but boy, what a monumental accomplishment. I mean, not in terms of if we had a month or two to go before Brodak, this wouldn't be an accomplishment at all. This would just be ordinary. But boy, I really feel like I've hit the lottery here, baby. Anyway, that is the last of the things I'm going to be doing. I got to try to find some props. I got to get some more extra spare bolts. I want to put the plane together and do a couple of photo shoots before we actually leave, if possible, if time doesn't run out. But I really wanted to take some of these old memories, because a lot of this stuff is going to get lost forever if I don't pick through it. A lot of the stuff is still on tape, and it's deteriorating year by year, and I want to take some of it out. And Karen just walked down the shop and she says, "I'm done buffing." Can you believe that? Ah, can you believe he's done? She's been toughing it out with me, staying up late, buffing, shoveling snow. So how do you like the way your name came out there, baby? I know it wasn't much of a surprise, thanks to me, but
no, it looks nice.
I was trying to decide, should I buy you a diamond ring, a new car, or put your name on a plane, and I think I'll put...
Good choice.
Enjoy some of these old outtakes while we have a few left. The paint is new like this, that it's really a little bit elbow grease. Now you're probably thinking, and I've thought it too many times, why not just buff this out with a buffing wheel? Well, you know what? Buffing it out with a buffing wheel is possible, but it's very dangerous. Ask Mike Rogers. He was buffing out a brand new plane, caught the flap hinge with the wheel, threw the plane across the room and broke it in 5 pieces. If you're going to use a buffing wheel, high risk, high roller stunt. And if the paint isn't coming up, if you're scrubbing away and it doesn't seem to be coming up real quick, one of the things you might want to consider, get it up by the heating vent for another couple of days, a week or so. And one thing you don't want to do, and I've done it many times, is get it so hot that you put bubbles in the paint. Putting it out in bright sun is not a good idea. One of the things you can do, though, if you have a minivan or something, is put it out in a minivan where it's, you know, it's warm, but it's not in the blazing sun. In my van, with the dark color, it used to just, on a typical spring day, get 90 degrees inside. Okay, well, we're not going to get much else done. The parts are starting to buff up. The mainframe might or might not need some more clear. But that's it for today. It's been a radio day. Can't wait to see that car blow up. Unbelievable. I'm real careful about doing the edges. And as soon as you see any hint of color in the sandpaper or an ink line disappearing, you know you're at the end of that. You really can't go on. A final finish. Okay. Do is work on each bay individually. The only mistake that I think you really can make when you're doing a wing, a big area, is to try to do too much of a surface at one time. I like one open bay is certainly plenty of a space to do until you get it all knocked down flat. And of course the last thing is to always feel it with your fingers. Right here I can feel a spot. Your eye really does lie to you. It's really not a good way to work. The best way is to just use your fingers. Boy, I can't wait to see this Reno tape that Joe has. I hope we can get, he got a copy, but it isn't tracking right on his VCR. Hope we can get, maybe we can get Carlos to straighten it out. Again, if you're interested in any of these tapes, hey, give me a holler, you know, just say. We're building up quite a library. We're probably going on having 600 or 700 tapes in a library now. A lot of neat information, a lot of neat stuff. Real good book collection, real good magazine collection. Good source of information. Still feel it. Sometimes you just have to be persistent. The biggest mistake is to go on to next, and then you really, oh, Jeff, got to go all the way back. And I'm making a little mental note of all the little spots I want to put a little touch-up clear on at the end of this session so they can be drying overnight, and then do a little feather edge blend in. One thing nice about dope, it is super repairable. Very easy to repair dope. If you were using Imron right now or enamel, you'd be dead in the water the minute you sanded through. Okay, Mike's got his new, officially approved, FAA approved wingtips here. Oh man, Peabody, eat your heart out. Now you always want to be careful of one thing. Now, I didn't see this. You make sure you don't have the lead out guide. Where the hell's my ruler? Make sure you don't have the lead out guide. And see, the reason the holes are elongated on the lead out guide, the reason they're bigger than they have to be is so you can put it in on an angle. I want to see how much an angle you... Yeah, it's only 1/4 of an inch out. It's no problem. But if you, what some guys do is in the lead out tip, like on a Thunderbird, they glue it in like that, and then the lead out's like a binding and everything. So when I made the tool for this, I knew that was going to happen, like with Prowlers and stuff. So I put those holes a little bit bigger, and you can always put brass. You could put brass bushings in there if you want. Not really necessary. That the lead out guide stuff is a bearing material. But anyway, that gives you a good idea. A typical cardinal. Nice and light, by the way. Anyway, this goes a little faster than you think it does. You just got to knuckle down, tough it out, get that arm in shape. You can see how nice it comes up too. It's really coming up nice, in fact. Now obviously the solid leading edges and tips are a lot easier to do than the bays. These go right off. Good idea too to constantly do this with the paper towel or the rag. Constantly move it. Don't leave it in one spot too long. And boy, I'll tell you, after doing a whole panel, you can bet your arm is tired. But boy, if there ever was one part of building a model that really is rewarding. I mean, that's it. Look, you can see your hand in it. Oh, man. And boy, I just remember years ago when I always think about it. Hey, mister, how do you get that nice finish? Ah, shut up, you little brat kid. It's right about this time of doing every model, it really starts, I even got the fillet buffed. It really starts to take on a life of its own. It really starts to be something special. And it's that finish. If it wasn't for that finish, I don't know. You know, a dull finish warbird, yeah, more realistic, but I don't know, it's gonna be, this will be a hard act to follow next year. But I'm sure Adamusko will help me and we'll do it. It's amazing. Anyway, it's time to get in gear. We really don't have much time. I've been wasting so much time with this radio. I don't want to say it on camera. This kid is, I love the kid, but the radio's got to go. Okay, ready to start buffing. I tell you, I love the way this comes up. This color really comes up nice. All this fogging and fading and whatever you want to call it really comes up nice. It's a good tool for getting into fillets. These old polywog, there's one that has just about the right radius. I like to fold the paper towel back a few times. I don't want to get the corner of the rubber on. But for getting in a fillet, that really makes a nice tool, and that is an excellent tip. Getting in corners and angles, this is really a good way to do it. And I guess that's the best thing of all, is that if you try to buff out the plane in 1 or 2 days, it really, and I won't say it isn't fun, but I don't think it's the right way to do it. I think you really have to allow at least a week. In this case, I'm allowing a week, and kind of get diverted into other projects a little bit, for the simple reason you just get too tired. Anyway, this cleans up the fillets real nice. It's also good for down in here, another prime area that I like to get in with this. See, these are the little detail touches. When somebody looks at your plane in appearance judge and they've never seen it before, and they see the hinge lines are buffed and all these little detail things, a lot of times they're just overwhelmed. Wow, how'd he do that? Yeah, well. And again, it's the easiest thing to do, is just do one little spot, one stab half at a time. When you try to bite off more than you can chew, boy, I love this color. Aronstein, you're gonna have some paint job on that mosquito. Get your buns down here. Actually, we could have paint today. And Knowles told me that the gear doors are working. He's totally impressed with the way the thing is coming together. It's going to be an awesome airplane if we can get him to come out to the Nats. In fact, even if he doesn't go, I'll take the plane. No law says you can't fly 2 planes at once. I wish you could. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm telling you. After doing this is really, I think, like the 3rd day I've been really sanding away. Look at this, President Nixon calls. You believe this? Well, it looks like we got one side done anyway. It is what I like to see, is the jaws of Gorhams. I usually use about 3 to do a plane, 2 or 3. But the results speak for themselves, and I'll tell you, anybody that can't get excited about that finish, I don't know. It really is nice. It really is. It's the colors that I really like. I like the colors a lot more than the Spitfire colors. Now look at the unbuffed side. Yeah. Okay, but that's the whole thing. That's the thing that inspires. You can see things, whatever. And it's just a matter now of just putting in the hours. We've got the technology, we've got the material, we've got the M600. We just need the hours. Grind away at this. Yeah, it's coming up. Just time consuming.
Quickly most accidents can happen, and why all-wheel drive.
Now working on this top panel, and I want to get a close-up of how this around this the gun blister is coming. It's really, believe me, this was a lot of extra work to get that little sucker in there, and now sanding around it with a tissue joint. So I really want to be careful I don't go through.
Okay, weather-wise for the rest of today.
All around these the little edges and corners, it really is a lot of work getting in there. See, these are the kind of little things, when you see a little detail like this on a plane, you think, yeah, baloney. And I'm sure around the valve cover blisters, it's going to be just the same. Now what does work real nice here is to take the sandpaper, fold it up in fours, keep the area good and wet, and just get right around in the corner. Again, anytime we see any of these little things starting to blister up, I'll get right at them with the little scalpel blade and some thin CA. Don't want anything blistering up here prematurely. And needless to say, the most time of all is spent on the open bays. All the flat sheeted areas go relatively quick anyway. If you were Arnold Schwarzenegger, you probably could do it. The restraint isn't the time, it's that your arm turns into a big giant rubber band. And I'm not the wimpiest, weakest guy. There's probably 2 or 3 in Pampa wimpier than me, Midgley for one. Anyway. But you can see it does come up. And that finish, that is, believe me, the lightest amount of finish you can put on a plane, regardless of how you do it. I have not discovered any way of getting it down under 7 ounces if you want it to look real nice. And of course, be real durable and fuel proof at the same time. See, the leading edge goes nice and fast. All of the wood pieces go kind of fast. It's only those areas, like where those little gun blisters are, fillet areas that just tend to take a lot of time. And I always like to try to finish up with having everything in a circular motion, kind of get rid of some of the scratches if I can. Anyway, it turned out to be really a nice day. I wish I had something to paint. It's such a nice day out there. Of course, Craig was playing with his radio. Unbelievable. Get those muscles nice and worked up. There's still some scratches in here. Anytime you're buffing a canopy, it takes twice as long because you can't really press down. You can't really put any force into it. And there's so many little details and rivet heads and things here. I don't want to lose any of them, really. But the thing is, once you make the commitment that you're going to do this, you know, it's like crossing the ocean. Halfway there, you can't turn around and row back. You got to make the. You can't have a plane half buffed. Once you get Once you kind of get married, it's like the whole thing. Karen. Hey, speaking of Karen, she went for another test in the hospital, and the results are that she's allergic to dust mites. Can you imagine that? So we're going to start working on getting some HEPA filters in the house and maybe moving our modeling shop out to the garage. I don't know yet. But it's something we're going to have to work around in the very near future, so. It may be the end of life on Earth as we know it. Well, we don't know yet. We're certainly going to try like hell to make her comfortable. Well, they're closing in on getting ready to buff the last little bit of this in the next hour or so. Anyway, we're almost done. I'd say we're an hour or so away just to detail this out. And that probably will be all I'll get to do here for the simple reason I'm falling asleep. Been a long day working on this. But I think if you watch this, you've gotten some good ideas on how to just go generally about how to buff one of these out with the 1200, the Gorhams. Now we're going to have, and there's probably 8-10 little spots I'm going to have to touch up as soon as we get a day. It's pouring rain out there, so I don't want to do any kind of opening up of a can of paint here until that humidity comes down. I'll touch up the little spots, and that closes out what I hope is going to be, well, most of the buffing. And you can see the reflection of the stripes in the fuse side. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that color is really going to work well. This is one of those times where you get to this point and you just want to stand back and admire your handiwork for a while. It's a lot of time to get it this way, a lot of hours, but boy, once you have it, it's really a joy to have. And we can start pulling that tape off the canopy now. In fact, maybe I'll do that. I'll get that canopy area cleaned up. Okay, we're back down in the shop, and I want to, before we go any further, I got a bunch of stuff in the mail today, and some of it is really neat. I want to share this with you. And this is one of the things I just love about doing videos. I just love opening the mail every day, seeing what people have sent me, and boy, certainly I've been the recipient of more than my fair share of cool and neat stuff, and I'm always willing to return the favor, so keep sending it in. Now usually once I got this area sanded with 1200, what'll happen is the buffing goes pretty quick. It's the sanding that takes the time. And this looks like it's going to come up reasonably. Again, what's nice about having these incline panels, you can kind of work inside one panel box at a time. Yeah, I think we're going to be, I keep hoping I'm right. That's going to shine up. Again, I'm just going to work my way one box at a time right up to the nacelle. I'm going to be real careful in here to just work my way in there, maybe with some Q-tips or something. That's kind of an unusual spot to have to work on. Now it's looking like, at least in a preliminary part of the model, the inboard wing, like we're going to get away with this thin coat of clear. Looks like we're going to get away with answering the phone here. Well, so far so good. I'm not sure how much I'll get done in this session, but if I can even get some of the bottom done, at least it's telling me that I'm going to sneak by with this a little bit less clear than we normally put on a model. Now the next thing I wanted to do, I wanted to work on these two small areas in here, maybe get those done before I quit in this session. But it looks like we've been able to get enough of a buffing on this. I think that's going to be just fine. And it really buys us an ounce we need in the terms of the weight. Now it looks like all we're going to get done in this session. We're going to work our way up to having that last section done, but that's it. And you can see how nice and, well, how nice that's starting to buff up already. Again, a Brodak dope is, I think, is the biggest single improvement in the hobby we've had since who knows when, since they invented dope. This morning, I'm really looking forward to this. I got up really early this morning. It's not even light out there yet. And I realized I left a package on a porch from the night before. All right. Elliot comes through again. Look at this. This is what we've been waiting for. Elliot, you are okay. Now what this is 12-inch Medusa props. Let's get an idea how much pitch. Yeah, they have a lot of pitch. But we're going to de-pitch them for using them on the jet. Back edge of these, you should treat this, here's exactly what it's like. It's like flipping a razor blade. I cut, in fact I got it right in the drawer. I saved it because I wanted to put it on video. This is what it did to my finger. I was going to push it. This is from, with a 35. Yeah, sure. People aren't entertained by you anymore. Your show is over, Chickadooley. Anyway, that is probably the one downside of these props is you really have to. Where's my 80 grit paper? What I'm going to do will be buffed out. I think the only downside that we're kind of disappointed with, and there's really nothing I can do about it now, is I think we overbuilt the nacelles by some giant amount, and had I been able to go back and do it over, I might be able to figure a way of making them lighter, less formers, thinner sheeting, maybe shells. Again, that's the learning curve we all go through in modeling. But as I'm coming up on the what amounts to be the end of buffing and polishing and everything, it's just been like no other project in my life, and it's really been fun. And I know Joe and Dave Downey are already planning that Hawk, that P6 Hawk. He's already bought the motor for it, in fact. So I know when they get their minds together, things happen quickly. Now what I've been trying to do is pick one little spot, because again, remember, there's very little clear on this. There's less than what I normally would have. I just want to make sure I'm not going through inclines. But his bird is wound up today on pepperoni or something. It looks like we're going to get away with that on every part of the model. Now I have been real careful on these curves and edges because I know I don't have the full amount of clear. Now one thing is good, I wanted to mention it, it's working well, is once I get a towel, will you shut up? That's nice and soft and loaded with worms, I can make kind of a fillet shape thing and get right in the fillet. That's been helping me out a lot. And then when I make the same thing, I have a towel for the final shine, I get right in that corner. I'm trying my best not to break the edges. And then once I have this all put together, I'll put the final polish on that last 1/16 of an inch where it won't go in. Now we're coming down a home stretch. Boy, is this a good feeling. Now if we could get the weather to change and get a couple of test days with those props. Hey, this time of year it gets exciting. We have leaves on the trees. We have everything except stunt weather. But when we get it, we'll be ready, I hope. Every time I do this too, I remember the old days using other products which will go unnamed and waiting 8 weeks to buff them out and sanding them and had the sandpaper turn into chewing gum and not getting any gloss out of anything. Oh, it was just unbelievably bad. This is so much easier. If you've never used the other product, which will go unnamed, you have no idea how lucky you have it. What the hell is he like? Quiet, join a dating club. He's making me crazy. But you can see how nice that's coming up. We got one more nacelle to do and then we'll flip it over. You're gonna see just how tough you really are. And I mean, this is really the test. I would say, I got the whole bottom buffed out already. But I'm going well into the day, well into the point where I really should have taken a break, because I'm excited about seeing the whole part buffed out. But there is a point at which, and I'm already at that point, I still have one panel to do, where the old arm, it just won't take it anymore. Even a bird is looking at me and thinking I'm crazy, but I really figure if I get the push on this, and we don't get the phone ringing too many times, I may get this done today. Boy, what a milestone that would be, to be able to go to bed tonight knowing this buffing is at least done this much. The other thing, I got a call from Dave Downey. They've got P6 drawings in the mail waiting to come to me, so we'll get them and get a copy of them down to Ron Merrill, try to get him stoked. And boy, Dave has been coming up with, they're already working on it. He's already probably got it programmed into the Boeing computer. It's little by little, it's really coming along now. We are truly coming down the home stretch here. And I will finish this tonight before I go to retire. This has been a very, very long day, needless to say, but When I get in bed tonight and my arm is sore and tired and everything, you know what? I can look back and say, we're done buffing this. We're definitely done. I got one nacelle and one little section to do. Final shine the top of the wing and I am ready. Now it's been a long time coming, but starting tomorrow we're going to look at what I hope is some of the electronics. I got a little list made, hinging the flaps. Try to make myself up a little hit list of what I want to do. Oh yeah, coming right up. You don't know what a sore arm is. This is what it probably feels like to pitch for the Yankees or something. Or for the Diamondbacks, I should say. Buffed. The entire model is now buffed. I don't want to see buff and compound for quite a while. And that's all we're going to get done today. Believe me, it's time for the whirlpool, time for the shower, time for something, I don't know. What a long day, but it's done. Our model is now buffed. I guess tomorrow we'll start getting the flap hinging done. That would probably be the next logical thing. Too tired to think about it now. We'll come back in the morning to a nice fresh cup of coffee. Boy, this looks Brodax silver, B25 silver, buffed up. Better than I ever expected. We didn't have the testing done on the motors. We didn't have the really good friendship that we have with the Dub Jet crew right now. We've come a long way in a very, very short amount of time. And I have to, at moments like this, and I'm getting ready to go up to bed, it's just, I'm exhausted. There's times that I look at this and I just wonder, just wonder what my life would be like if I didn't have projects like this to work on. And even if this plane never were to fly, it has added to my enjoyment of the world of modeling, and once I get the tail on, it's going to add even more enjoyment to it. This is what holds me up. Is a lot of times I'll just walk around the shop from 10 different angles, looking at the plane, looking at some detail of it, wondering if I really like it. How could I have made it better? How can I upgrade my modeling skills? And most of all, how am I going to be able to pass on some of this information to so that the event will live long after I'm gone. I hope there'll still be people enjoying building these models. A lot of angles and a lot of things when you look at this, it kind of captures your attention from a lot of different angles. I'm sure it's going to be, one way or another, it's going to be a crowd pleaser, even if all it ever does is just taxi around a circle. But a project like this is the work of, really, of a crew, of a group of people that all have contributed something major to it. And the inspiration my mother gave me in her lifetime, that I would knuckle down and do some of these things instead of going off and joining a bike gang. So I guess a lot of things in my life have all come together with this project, and even though it's too late to make a push rod, hey, we'll get back to this tomorrow or the next time we get to do a session. I'm really excited about it now. And now it's going to be hard to sleep tonight thinking about there's only a few more days of work to do on this, and we'll be out running engines, synchronizing engines.
I'll get Rich to launch it if you don't mind.
Yeah. And if we break this up into enough days, when this plane is fully buffed, this will really be nice. And I'll still have part of an arm that works. I'll tell you, if you're into bodybuilding or you want to, and I'm not, believe me, I'm into eating pizza. But if you're a bodybuilder, I want to see if I can, I'm trying to candle some, if I can read Strager's numbers in this stab. Anyway, so far so good. Oh no, the supervisor's here. Here goes. See, he sees himself, he sees his face in there. You approve, peeps? I don't know why I waste my... He's eating the gorums out of the bolt holes. Get! And even more delicate around the fillet, the fuselage is relatively delicate here. Again, because I'm allowing quite a bit of time for this part, I'm not prone to, you know, try to force it down or push hard. There's a lot of delicate areas on this. In any spot around electrosets that I see that needs a little extra, I did put plenty of clear over the electrosets. So you start to get excited because I really want to go flying. But it's been a long winter. We're coming down a home stretch here. And once I have the buffing done, absolutely from that point on, there's a bunch of little details, the landing gear, putting the stacks on, installing a Z-tron. We've already got the motor run in. Cutting up a new set of lines, make up a handle. I mean, we have about a week of work. And we should just be entering right at the point in this part of the planet, just about leaves on the trees. Mike's already mowed the grass at the field once already this year. I shouldn't say mowed it, he was floating a boat on it. Anyway, try to make it that at least we could use it when we're ready. And we of course have the concrete fly-in site, Palisades Park. That's just about how I want it. A little bit of final shine. The trick with final shine is it has no wax and no silicone. If you're using some of the Meguiar's products or somebody, you got to check that they say no wax, no silicone. Final shine is one of the few. It's a 3M product that it's made to do just what we're doing here. And it's what you want to really put on a plane just before you go to concourse judging too. It kind of fills in little dings and scratches. And now I wanted to at least show the canopy part being done. And then what I'll do is work from the canopy out. And once we plug in the canopy, of course we have this all taped off. Once we plug in the canopy details, I think it's really going to look nice. And it has that feel, when you rub it, it's just totally invisible. Everything is sealed in the paint. This is one way to minimize that chance, is when you can take the cockpit out and just replace it. One of my little, I don't know, invention is not the right word, but I want to get it in there straight. There we go. And the pilot even got his thermos of coffee in there for his next trip to Berlin or wherever he's going. Hackensack. Okay, next thing is I want to get the exhaust manifolds on here. Now I already have measured and painted in the spots where they're going to actually reside. Now what I need to do is put the manifold on there, mark exactly where that spot is going to be with some tape, and then roughen this up, because remember the thing with any secondary bonding, carbon to carbon, glass to glass, you want to have two rough surfaces. No, you'd never want to glue against that surface. How much gorums it takes to do a plane. I've used one tub already. Well, probably a half a tub, and the bird has eaten half a tub. But he prefers gorums. Gorums is his favorite. Hey! Stop eating that gorums. Of course, we have the finisher on this side, and you'd want to buff everything out and clean everything up on this side. Now what I'm going to try to do, this is 80 grit paper. Just get this rough. I'm going to mix up the glue, and it's that secondary bonding resin, 237 West. And I want to lay this in position, and what I'm going to try to do then is get down here with a Q-tip and make a little glue fillet inside each one of these. So inside each exhaust port, once we have that finalized, inside each one we'll have a little glue fillet. And I need to get just the middle of this, so I'll lay out an 1/8 inch tape on each side, because I don't want to get too carried away where you're going to see the scratches either. And keep that in mind with that secondary bonding stuff. Anytime you're doing anything composite, it's got to be rough. And it's got to be secondary bonding epoxy. Now I traced this out with a pen so I could roughly see where those exhaust stacks are going to land. Now I'm just trying to get each one of these, leaving about a 1/64 of an inch. Ooh, I got the paint right up there. Ooh, that's good. Now what this will mean is I can get all the paint off in one stroke of the pen. Again, I'm leaving plenty on the inside. I don't want to get close to the edge. Now if this were a wood fuselage, we'd be able to just roughen it up a X amount. Now we can roughen that area up. Again, the rougher the better. Now when I take the tape off, I'll take that off carefully, I should have a pretty good idea of where these are going to reside. Now I'll do the same thing to the other side, because once I mix the secondary bonding resin, I want to do them both, and then I'm putting this aside for the day. And then whatever time I have left today, after doing the mail and that, I'll go outside and we'll work on a wing. Maybe we get some of the wing done today. An important part of it, this is Pro Set resin. 175. The hardener that goes with it, you can get this from CST, or you can get it from Goujon Brothers. CST has it in smaller quantities. Composite Structures Technology are in all the AMA magazines. This is a 2.2 to 1 mix. They have it a little bit different here. They have it 2 to 1, but I know for a fact it's 2.2 because I've done some investigating on this. We're going to mix this up, put a little bit of dye in it, and this will become our resin. Now you can see it's thixotropic. Thixotropic being it doesn't pour out of the tube. It's like Jello. So it gives us a good chance what'll happen, it won't drip and drool down the sides of the manifold. And if you're doing any work with anything fiberglass, this is the glue that you want to use. Now see, that'll actually hold it in place now. Now I can line it up as well as I possibly can here. This is just, I'm just getting the angles and edges. Oop, I'm moving it around. It's not going to do any good. I got to get most of this off in one shot. Let me show this. This is sanding out better than I could ever hope for. Turned out to be just a beautiful day out here. I've got the bottom all sanded flat. I'm hoping I'm going to get the top sanded. And what makes this possible is we haven't had the phone ringing off the hook. Karen's here keeping me company and making sure I don't get diverted, right peeps? We'd really like to finish this today if we could, but there's no guarantee. But it really is pleasant working outside, no fumes at all. And as long as we don't have a lot of phone calls today, we will get this sanded flat. In one bay at a time. What the hell's he doing? Stealing my paper towels? Look at this, he's stealing my paper towels. Anyway. We've got just an Anaheim beautiful day out here. Unbelievable. The system for doing this is to do one bay at a time. Get it good and wet. Try not to go over the corners or the edges more than necessary. Work into the corners. The thing you don't want to do is just constantly go over the cap strip, so you'll just break right through. And as soon as it's flat, as soon as there's no spots on it, no little moon craters, go on to the silver polish. We've come down to where we have one panel left to go, and I'll tell you, I can't wait. One more panel. This panel's ready to do the gorums. This one here buffed up beautifully. We've really been able to take advantage of a relatively nice day to work outside. Life of this plane, we'll be looking at every time you wipe it off, it'll be a pleasant experience. Now we just give it the first half hour right there. Totally rich, under 4,000. Maybe Joe had the support, I don't know. I need to wrap myself a set of lines, and I'll wrap a set of solids and a set of braideds in case the day we go to fly it, it's humid, rainy, or whatever. I want to paint some of these props. I've had real good luck in the past using straight 14.5 rev-ups. Now, straight 14.5 rev-ups, when you buy them, when you check the blade, about 1/3 of them, one blade is 4.0, 4.0. Another third of them, if you buy 50 or 60 like I do, what'll happen is the other blade will be 4.0, 4.5. And then you'll get another third of them that it's 4.5, 4.5. Now, the guy that turned me on to that was Noel Drindak, and I went and just got a bunch of them. Elliot Scott sent them here. And what I did, I checked them on a pitch gauge, and they're all different. So what it is I want to take the ones that have the lowest pitch, because that always seems to be appropriate for stunt anyway. But over the course of the life of this plane, we'll make up some of each, of course. We also have Kent Tyser donated one of his Brian Ether 4 blades, and I have 3 Bali 4 blades that would make it look real nice and scale. But again, we're going to test them. We're going to do some work with the engine on a bench. We also have this little custom muffler that Bob Zambelli made up. We're not going to use it on a test flight. I like to use all stock parts for testing. Everything is stock as can be. I don't like to get too cute. In other words, we'll probably, this muffler is about ½ an ounce lighter than a stock one. But again, the plane seems to balance right about where it should. Actually, it doesn't look like it's going to need nose weight or tail weight. But having a little bit of weight out of the nose, especially when we have all the electronics in, it certainly can't hurt. Well, the weekend is here when we're going to try to get some flights. I just hope the weather's going to be... Boy, if you only know how nervous I get. Hoping we get some good weather this weekend. with the weather bad as it is, we've managed to get 3 props painted and balanced. And I think that's a nice little final touch for this. Even though we have 4 blades and things, I want to keep this simple in the very beginning. We still have to test the little Zambelli muffler, the one that Bob Zambelli made up, which is about a ½ ounce lighter than the stock one. I have a little bit lighter spinner here. A lighter combination is to have a carbon fiber back plate and one of Randy Smith's 2 1/4 spinners just a tad lighter than this, which I'm going to try to get set up so I'll have that choice the next time we get to go flying. So now you can get a look at the part that's unsanded, the part that is sanded, and that's about as far as I want to go. And in the next 2 or 3 days, I'm going to carefully try to get the whole model before I put the next coat on to look flat like that. Case, summer's coming, spring is coming, fly-in season's coming, and I'm so far behind because of other items like answering 2,000 a day personal emails. But I enjoy that. I enjoy helping people achieve their goals in the world of modeling, and for right now, if I can get this sanded out in the next 3 days, and in 3 days we're supposed to get some nice clear weather, it'll be a joy. It'll be a joy putting those next coats of clear on. What I wanted to show, you can see I've got this part sanded. I thought this would be one thing, basically because we're playing a waiting game here. Once that M600 dries up. Another good thing about sanding with M600 is and rubber gloves, you get very few, if any, grease prints, fingerprints. That last couple of coats of clear should lay right down really nicely. Now here's the real look that I'm looking. If you can see this up close, you see how we just have a little bit of an edge where you almost can't feel it, a little shiny edge around the edge, and that's where we're just going up over. Remember what I spoke about is selective finishing. You can see we got some down here, but I'm gonna only because of the way the weather is, and I'm trying to use this to my advantage. Well, as long as I'm going to have this extra time available, I could go watch The Simpsons or SpongeBob or something, or I can put some more sanding. There's really never a time when you're done sanding and detailing. For instance, over here, if I look at this real close, you see the little low spots? Well, I can tell, because I didn't do this real carefully before, once it dries up, soon as it dries in fact, you could spend a little more time until virtually the whole part, or as much of it as you choose to have as flat as possible, no moon craters, no overspray. And what that's going to do, if tomorrow is the day we're waiting for, and I always suggest waiting for the right day to paint as opposed to putting in any extra retarder. Retarder is just the last resort. Now just let me get a little bit here so I can show this. A lot of people, what they do, and I remember several people that they don't sand the clear at all until a plane is done, and then what happens, you go right through an edge or a high spot or something. See, what I try to do is always, now when I have this part, every time I'm sanding it, I'm just kissing the edges, all of the edges. So in the end, I don't go through in a lot of spots. In that last coat, I don't want to. I'm working on this a long time. I know you don't see the hours on the video, that's the thing. But if you're going to do a black plane, there's good and there's bad, and that's one of the bad. So let's just see what this looks like when we get to this part. I didn't know how many parts I'd get done today, but this looks like we'll... In fact, I got to get a fresh towel. It still needs more polishing. So day one ends with, well, some progress. Get one of the elevators even done as a bonus. But it's always better, in my case, I like to split it up over many sessions. I don't want to do it until my arm falls off. But once it's done, it's very, very nice. Just touching the parts is very nice. And I really do like the way these wheels came out. We'll pick this up tomorrow. Now, in today's more psyched. I really want to see this all put together, buffed, with the engines in place, the props. And by the way, Doran has already started on a mold for the reverse turning prop for the outer engine. In the meantime, we're just going to buff right up to the end of this video and hopefully see you on the next tape and see, again, if we could learn some more stuff. It's never ending. There's always something to learn, especially in the world of paint. Now, I'm thinking of one other thing that could happen here. If we ever have to do a repair and we want to blend it in, 1500, because of the less scratches, might be a little bit better way to get the blend even. But in theory, black should touch up as well or better than anything. Or if I want to rebuff something, when I want to go back and buff something out after it's a couple of years old. I just couldn't resist, because the way this is working out with the 1500, I couldn't resist. I did a little spot on a stab just to see, buffed it up. Now this is paint that's already 2 years old. And I did a little spot on this where it had been repaired. Remember, this whole outer panel had been repaired, re-cleared, re-silvered. And look, it just buffed up beautifully. And I just couldn't believe how nice it buffed up. And one of the things I thought I'd do, just for my own information, I'm going to go grab the B25 off here, even though it doesn't have engines in it right now. Rich Oliver's working on the engines. I'm going to take it down and just take the 1500 and rebuff a little piece of maybe the outer tip or the stab, because I want to see some red and I want to see some silver. And it really does look like the 1500 is better than the 1200. So now I don't know whether this is just because it's old paint. Part of it might be that this paint is very old. Once dope gets about 6 months old, it just buffs up like glass. And the other stuff, the black parts, well, they're not old yet. So again, I'm trying to learn something, and I'm trying to pass it on if I possibly can as to if we're going to be using this. But what I decided to do is the rest of the buff out of the plane I'm going to use just for my own education. I'm going to use the 1500. I even have some 2000, but I only have 2 sheets of it left. So there we, right at the end of this tape, we learned something, and you never know when you're going to learn something. You just got to keep weeding through things, and all of a sudden there's something that you can really put in the bank. It's amazing. As I said before, in Doran's email yesterday, he said he's already started on the counter-rotating prop mold. Midgley's doing the CNC work, and Doran's doing the programming of it to write the program, so we'll have an exact mirror image. Now, it was nice at the end of last year, if you go back to the tapes, we had the 40s running 12.5-inch diameter props, Doran's 12.5-inch props. So we'll be looking forward to this year, picking up where we left off at the end of, well, it's actually at the beginning of the Tiger Cat program, but certainly we learned a lot, and we really were stoked about having these counter-rotating engines, and hopefully have them not long from now. And that will be part of the ongoing Tiger Cat video, developing those counter-rotating engines. A couple of, I think, useful ideas. And I'll tell you, these guys in the club, I got to kill them. Especially Brian. Brian has a cell phone, so you get these calls where the engines are running in the back. Oh, we're all flying, everybody's out here. Oh, yeah, no, no. And here you are trapped in a cellar on a beautiful day. But I really do want to get this done. Hopefully by somewhere on the next tape we'll be done and have the whole bomber in one piece. Or we'll have Midgley's plane in one piece. I'm not sure. Paint, this concrete paint is going to hold up. But what I did, I sanded it with 1500 just to balance it. Check the balance, of course, anytime I do anything to that. I like the blue exhaust. We're getting some new matzo balls for our Passover dinner, and the kids are on their way. And for a plane with one engine, he's just going to have to celebrate Passover with one engine tonight. That's all there is to it. What I did, I kind of laid some bed sheets on the ground here. And a friend of mine, Art Raspberry Yoda, is going to try to take some pictures. Some decent quality pictures. I just wanted to set it up here, see how it looks. Never realized what an involved thing it is to shoot these pictures. But it's raining out there, so we can't really do it outside. We laid out these bed sheets, but I'm not sure we're going to get anything usable here. But that's the nice thing about digital pictures. You can just shoot away, and if we get any good ones, great. If we don't, well, remains to be seen. Now, of course, I could change the background if I had more bed sheets, but I'm limited by having one set of bed sheets here. Interesting. I'm learning a little bit about photography as I go through this, and I'm impressed with how much time it takes just to get one or two halfway decent pictures where everything's in focus. But if we get any neat ones, we'll tack them on the end of this. Now, I had a devastating email yesterday from Paul Winter, who, and boy, this is really sad news. The push rod in his plane broke and he crashed to Manchester, and you know how many hours we spent working with him, making plans, and I'm sure he was devastated by it, but he did get some DVD of it flying, and he said it is in the mail, so if we get that, boy, we're between the A-26 and between this. I'm getting a little bit of, I'm getting gun shy to fly this plane. Now, years ago, and this is really not funny, but years ago, what I used to do, and before I had video cameras, before I would fly a new plane, I would shoot off a bunch of pictures, go down a 1 hour photo, and make sure I had photos, because back then, planes used to crash on the first flight. Not that they don't anymore, but we really did have an issue of, there are a couple of planes that I built that I don't have any pictures of at all, and one of them is the original Tiger Cat. It was a profile fuselage plane with two 35s, a big foam wing, of course it was profiles, and I never took a picture of it. I don't have one picture of that original plane. Augie Buffalano, the late Augie Buffalano, had the plane and flew it in sports scale for years, and nobody ever took a picture of it. And really, well, I think we've entered an era now where somebody always gets video or pictures or something, but boy, is it a shame that a lot of that stuff, we only have a minimum, if any, amount of pictures. But I'm learning about cameras. The camera that we're going to use is 3.3 megapixels. It belongs to Elliot Scott, but my friend Art is a professional photographer. He's going to try to set up some decent pictures. And what I'm really looking for is if we can get one of these from Gerald Champ, if we get any that are worthwhile. But what I'm sure is that the reality is it's probably better to do this, I guess, outside, but when it's raining like this, I guess we really don't have all the choices. Don't bounce it, Mikey. Hard plane to land. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Mikey. Let's see a smile. Keith Trossel flying a Tiger Cat. Doing a little feel out.
All right, we will catch you guys.
You got it.
That's such a sharp corner. Yeah. We're gonna let these other guys go. You'll go up right after Steve comes.
No, I want you to shoot the video while I fly his Bearcat, and then I'll go over there and shoot you guys We could come back here all day. I'm not going to the swimming pool or anything. I want to take advantage of the fact nobody's out here.
So that I can shoot video. Okay.
Can't you just look in the eyepiece and shoot away?
I know we had some more guys come up the fly. I didn't know.
After this flight, I'm going to get to fly Keith Trostle's Bearcat. What did it do? Burp?
No, you didn't see him turn around and look.
No, what happened?
He just looked over here at us and just smiled.
Oh, he's doing square vertical ace. Bart Klipinski was doing that with the B-25. Okay, we got a smile out of Keith. Cool.
That's the first time I've ever seen him smile.
Nah, he smiled 2 or 3 times in his life already. Keith, we're giving you a hard time. Don't worry, we love you, guy. All right, we're going to put that in the pits now, Kent.
Wir wollen demnächst eine neue Software rausbringen. Jetzt will ich mal kurz die 3 wichtigsten Punkte erklären. Zum einen ist es der Rollausgleich, dann haben wir den Höhenregler neu und die Steuerung der Wegpunkte ist neu. Fangen wir mal mit dem Rollausgleich an. Hier an der Kamerahalterung habe ich ein Servo angebracht und man kann sehen, elektronisch wird die Rollneigung kompensiert. Bei Nick kannten wir das ja vorher schon. Und ich kann gleichzeitig mit meinem Sender natürlich noch den Nickwinkel verstellen der Kamera. So, dann will ich mal den neuen Höhenregler erklären.
I know this is a crappy copy, but check this out. This is pretty impressive. It's a 6-engine helicopter. Look at this go.
Ich habe den Höhenregler zurzeit noch ausgeschaltet. Jetzt schalte ich GPS Position Hold an. Und jetzt schalte ich den Höhenregler an.
Is it GPS positioner, a camera? That is wild.
So, das funktionierte im Prinzip vorher auch schon so. Aber neu ist jetzt die Steuerung. Es ist jetzt, mein Gasstick ist jetzt, mit dem kann ich jetzt die Höhe noch verschieben. Das heißt, wenn ich den Stick nach oben drücke, fängt der Mikrokopter an zu piepen und er steigt. Wieder hier. Ich kann die Wegpunkte auch im Nachhinein noch verschieben. Das mache ich mal mit dem einen und mit dem anderen. So, die habe ich jetzt nochmal verschoben. Jetzt gibt es hier unten eine Wegpunktliste.
I wish this was a better copy, but I just thought this would be, you gotta see this, unbelievable.
Jetzt kann ich mit diesem Knopf
It's the microcopter by,
das hab ich jetzt gemacht. Jetzt erscheint hier oben.
and there's a video attached to it. It's not a great video, but it's very interesting.
Jetzt auf meinem Sender.
Look at this thing with 6 engines. Is that unbelievable? You know, Bernie Trent would go wild for this. Well, Kent has helicopters too, but a 6-engine aerobatic helicopter. I'm not sure. That's about as cool as it gets.
Oh, da ist festgefahren.
Look at the wind blowing too. He's fooling around with that. I don't know about sticking your hand in there while it's running. Well, between the cool helicopters, and I really thought that was pretty cool. And by the way, you can look at that website. There's just video after video to be watched. But I thought you'd enjoy seeing some of these little adventures of buffing. And we are buffed. And I think if we have time tomorrow, we're going to put the final touches on getting everything into the box. But the big thing is tomorrow we have to pack for Daytona, and that's going to be an extensive job. I have to take motorcycle riding gear, warm weather, water ski gear, take Shamu to Whale with me. This looks like Ray coming now with the red Montana. Is that what you guys look like? You guys got old.
And you can walk up closer than me to you.
Wow. Now this is Art's house. Art and Bev live here.
Yeah.
Taking some video for Karen. Ooh, that's nice. I like. Now they fish off of this lake?
Oh yeah, there's a fisherman out there.
And we're in the town of Spring Hill near Tampa. Now that's the Art I know. Lots of car polish. all on everything.
Yeah.
Art, I got to tell you what my friend has. I bet. I'm trying to think. He's 72 now. He's got a 62 Pontiac Grand Prix, 4-speed stick with the big engine. It's nice. It's restored. He spent 70 grand, frame off restoration. He's only driven it once. I said, what stupid is that? Drive it.
But see, if you're going to take somebody on the back, this is beautiful.
Yeah, that's comfortable. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
nice. That's comfortable. I agree.
See behind you, your friends?
Oh yeah, my friends. I should bring some potato chips or something for them tomorrow.
God, we were here yesterday and there had to be a couple hundred of them.
Oh yeah.
See, we went through that little town, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Gorgeous little
That little post office. I want to stop on the way back and get a picture.
We're not
outside.
going that way back.
Well,
That's an old one. They're twins, they're not
okay, we're at Murderers Row here. Daytona, Florida. All tough guys are here, except for us. All the gold wings are coming in. Notice the cops across the street. That always tells you there's going to be some fun going on down here. You always want to be where the cops are. Never miss where the cops are. I saw some cool bikes up the other end. Yeah, we'll check it out. This is nice paint here. This red ray. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
That's real nice. Look at a dash on this, right?
Tricky. It's a stallion. Thoroughbred motorsports stallion. It's a stallion.
I like that paint. That's my favorite color. The man has good taste in paint. I wouldn't be surprised if that's Yamaha paint. Beautiful. Oh, that's nice. That's a piece of work.
That is.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. See, now you don't see a lot of these around.
No, the first one I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too.
Especially in Yamaha blue. Now that's got to be relatively comfortable because there's nothing of you sticking out into the wind.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be great
Look
if you
how nice the back
if
seat
you
is.
had a thing in the back that when it rained you could just go zoop and it would be.
Look at even a roll bar.
Yeah, well,
Well, of course.
when you see a roll bar, it's usually because they flip over.
See, it's too cold to see the scantily clad porkers.
There's enough porkers in New York. I don't have to come to Daytona to see porkers. Yeah, they had one at Javits. They had the same thing at Javits. It is nice. I'd like to have that.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Just
I like the finish they put on the aluminum motor, the aluminum parts.
yes.
That's
the
a
whole
real
thing. I like everything
Yeah.
they did about it.
Yeah. I bet Anderson would like this.
The way they set it up to look like an SV.
Yeah. Yep. SV. You and your SVs.
Vance and Hines pipes on it.
That's nice.
That is.
Really sweet.
victory.
Victory's got the market on nice paint. They have some
paint.
nice paint.
Wow.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All the Victories have nice paint.
This is nice. A little shield. Put the probably behind this one. Tail of the dragon. Yes. I gotta walk around it.
Quite a bit of scrap iron here.
I'm gonna be back on my feet someday. I don't care.
Hey, I want that engine. Get that engine out of there.
Get
that bumper off of there.
You said so. Gonna have back legs and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
I may get this guy, make him a custom muffler here, huh?
Look at this.
Look at the quality of that workmanship.
There's a Kawasaki. You want to buy a muffler? No.
Yeah, you can get Wendy to make you another one. Just give him that one.
Wendy, could you fix this for me?
Sure. For toys. A man needs toys.
He who dies with the most toys.
He who lives with the most toys.
Yeah.
The yellow one, the forks are way better than the blue one. Does has heavier springs in here? Is that what you did? Yeah. This one.
You grab the brake, but
Yeah,
still, it's a rough ride.
Yeah, well no, but this one it nose dives when you hit the brake.
nailed. We left here, turned, and it stayed on the gas going out. I don't know.
Pipes. This is where they were worn out from road racing. These bikes, in that era, in the Bridgehampton time, what do you think, in the early 80s we were running them? Late 70s, early 80s? Yeah, late 70s maybe.
See, you did that right off the bat. You and Kenny. I wish I could show you a stock set of Wurgis pipes because they came straight out here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, Kenny worked on these. Kenny did a lot of stuff on these.
I think you said you had like 40 hours work involved in them.
Kenny cut them all apart and re-welded them, if I remember right.
Yeah, what a job that had to be.
Oh God, yeah. It's 74, not many, you know, a few, but not many. First time I've ridden this bike since 1974. 74. It's now 2010. same as I remember it.
It looked like you're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to take it where there's a little longer straight? Or you had
I'll
enough?
get killed. Because you know what it is? It's running rich at the bottom. The needles are too high. You got to lower the needles a notch or two.
Now, okay, you know...
I can do it from right now. If you
I'm
want.
not good at it, but if you tell me what... You know what it is when we got these little air cleaners, and you put them on, it runs like shit. And I don't know if we can do it. I was going to get a sock. You know, if we're going to use it on the road, you got to put some kind of... Yeah, if you just tell me...
Ray, it's only running rich down bottom. Up in the power band, it's fine.
See what it was, Tim...
I got on it a couple times.
Tim tried to make it a little rich because he was afraid of burning it out because he didn't know where to start.
No.
We didn't know what main jet to use,
No,
you know?
No. The main jet's fine. It's the needles too. Just take the needles and drop them down.
Yeah, if you tell me, you know, it's simple to do.
And another thing, you got to take... Pull this jacket off me. I can't even make my shoulder work anymore.
Hey, wait a second.
Yeah, I pulled the inside. Old and disheveled.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I'm too disheveled. I'd kill myself in a week if I had this back home.
Isn't it a fucking kick?
Oh, man, is it fun.
Did you feel how hard that front brake is? I mean, it
yeah.
don't stop like the modern bikes, but...
Oh, no.
But Tim did it right. He
No,
spent...
it's a rock.
See
It's
what
a
he did?
rock.
He spent some money on it, you know?
You know what? Camera off?
No, I don't think...
Oh, it's still on, maybe. Now, I hadn't ridden that bike. It was my bike in '74. We road raced it for 4 or 5 years. I wrecked it. I crashed it and whatever. That was the first ride I had. 74, 84, 94, 204. 36 years. And what I'm going to try to do, I offered to restore some of the paintwork on it. Tim, Ray's son, is restoring it. He got a blister on my hand from riding. That was a pretty unique moment in my life. I hope some of this footage comes out anyway. Yes, sir, we're in Florida. We're with Ray in Maryland. And yes, these are sand cranes. Look, they're going to let me walk right up to them. I don't think so. Now we're right near Art Thomas's house. I'm not so sure he's going to let me walk right up to him, but and I don't want to scare him. All right, guys. Hey. No, he's afraid. Okay, I don't want to get too close. How about if I get a little closer? Would you like me? You want to be on a windy video? You must like me a lot. I think Karen would say you need a little more eye makeup.
It's just a button. Did you let it rev?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you let it rev, it comes up.
You didn't even get 10 feet in the air over the jump. What's that all about?
You know, if you catch it right, it'll pull the front wheel up for you.
Yeah, it pulled it up a few times
Yeah.
for me.
I know a guy with a tractor. We could make a racetrack out there if you want.
Isn't that hard to believe it's an 80?
I remember being over in your neck of the woods.
Nice paintwork on this red one.
Oh, yeah. Look at how far back the handlebars have to go.
Yeah.
It's a 6-cylinder valve.
Look at the pipes.
Yeah.
carbon fiber though.
Yeah.
You almost never see carbon fiber on Harleys.
Carbon fiber.
That's all carbon. Yeah. Yeah. But that's really cool. Very unusual to see carbon on a Harley. Look at even the seat.
Tire on this thing.
Yeah. Got a booster? Yeah.
It's a
nitrous booster, yeah.
That's a pretty bike.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'd say. It's real money too, it looks like. Oh, two of them. Look at this. Whoa. That's been restored real nice. Look at the pipes.
Yeah.
Those pipes have been re-chromed. Even the engine's nice and clean. Nicely restored cowies here. See, he's got squat bars on his booster.
Right.
Look, it's like a zipper, right?
Yeah. That's cool. Look at the front fender.
Yeah. Yeah, the back too. It's real nice.
Yeah. Got his camera.
There's a Valkyrie, yeah. That is nice paint. I like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's after walking.
Look what's on that one.
Oh, look at this.
And you put a picture of your wife on there.
Yeah. an R1, right? An old one. That's like
patches?
Patches, yeah. With the EXUV valve and everything. Purple
They still
size.
go like hell, the old ones.
Oh, they all go good. You kidding me? Look at this paint. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Boy, is that nice. Woo, look at the skull on that. Wallbridge, eat your heart out, baby. Hope you get some ideas for your next paint job, Rich. Hey, that's wild. Is that nice, Ray?
Notice the case on it? Primary case?
No, no. Oh, man. That is pretty. That's my friend Mike. That's the kind of paint he had on his Harley when he bought it.
Yeah, I know.
No. Look at this.
We call this a Midgley paint job. This is an official Midgley paint job. Dave, I hope you're looking. This is great. I guess
What's lit? They said custom lit.
LEDs.
Oh, okay.
You know the lights that go under your bike?
Yeah. Light a big dial. My grandfather was a Chevy.
This is a Ford, right?
24.
Nice. Is that two-stroke?
NS 400.
Yeah. Is that a two-stroke?
Yup.
You see the engine on this, Rick? Check the engine out.
Of course. What's up, guys? $5 buy 2 t-shirts, guys. 2-for-1 raffle tickets. 2-for-1 raffle tickets. Get a free t-shirt. I could use a little bit of power in mine. Hey, check your
I wonder what year that is.
Chip 1, 2, sounds great, sounds 2.
One more time. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You got it. Is this a repro?
Right. Look at the swinging arm on him. How he has this.
Oh yeah.
That's how they come. Here's a.
What is this, a repro?
What this is in competition with a Bandit.
Okay.
It's a ZRX. They're very cool. Anderson liked them. He was thinking of getting. He didn't get it, but
Look at the paint on this. If you can see the sun real close, that's nice. Ah, now that's some paint, baby.
I missed it because it wasn't the green one.
Right, here's an old 900.
Yeah. Look at the brake on that.
He's got, yeah. Those are rotted out already on the other side. Look, it's rotted through. Big deal. Look, the 3 handsomest guys in Daytona Bike Week. Who'd have thunk it? Hey, Karen. Nice, huh? Go, Ray. Ray. That is nice. It's a belt drive. There's a belt drive on it. So kind of tiny.
Let's see, it's covered.
Yeah, you can't tell. Yeah, 2 brothers. That's an old V-Max.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I'm unhappy with you.
That was a good bike. I didn't break.
Frank had one, right?
Up around 120 The guy at the shop that said he had the old school one like this.
I don't want to say that
Oh, wow. right, he's got the paint job like to match the Parrot. Hello? Hello? That's wild. I like that. That's a nice color combo.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought of blue and yellow.
There's an SV6,
That's
right?
1,000.
Oh,
See the dual
1,000.
exhaust?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, the 1,000 has a dual exhaust.
Yeah.
That's pretty original.
They all got the same serial number.
You mean he only had one $100 bill?
All the same serial number.
That is pretty nice, though. I gotta admit.
This looks pretty solid.
That's pretty wild looking at.
Oh, look at the one.
Oh, yeah.
Josh, look at the gasket covers, man. Plexiglass gasket covers. That's crazy.
Roller rockers, too.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Those are expensive rocker arms,
sir.
my
Yes,
friend.
sir. You're right.
Trust me, I know.
You got a serious engine on that thing, boy. That's crazy.
Ray, look at the rocker arms.
I did.
Got roller rockers.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have enough power.
Whoa.
He made that cover himself.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
They've got a tank shift on.
That's pretty wild.
Look how easy to change the distributor cap.
That is wild.
Distributor cap right there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you see the BMW sidecar?
Yeah, I saw it. We might have a new winner.
Checker back up here to the stage. This afternoon, Paco Bailey is back in the house. You were here last weekend. You had a great time with them. And tonight, once again, I'm so glad to the
Now, you know how they do that. That's silver leaf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then they paint over it.
Between all the great bands, all the lovely ladies, and all the free stuff, Home Saloon, place to spend your
Look at the guy across the street,
time.
right?
That's great.
Nice helmet.
Also later on today,
Cody.
You're not going to go over and arm wrestle that guy, Ray? Yeah, I see.
Alright, so truly, Denise is walking around though, but we need some contestants. Pop. Means there's going to have to be another guy to at least fight this thing. Get up there against
The old BMW, Ray. Yeah. The old R75.
But you won't go home and then you'll spend it on Puerto Rican, but that's okay with us. Besides that arm wrestling competition, we're still going to give away some samples and
We got about 10, 15 minutes, so we're actually in the middle of a titty show. You got time to get up to the bar and get a drink. Talk to a lady into doing the show, get her a shot of liquor. Let's get this party started. We can't do it without your help.
Oh, man.
Look at the gas car.
Oh. Look at the paintwork.
Wow, look at that.
I've done that. That's difficult. That is difficult. You need the highest quality airbrush in the world to do that line of work.
Yeah.
We also...
It's a piston.
Oh! That must be a piston from an airplane or
yes,
something.
it is. There's a rod. The rod is there.
And the rod is what's holding it on. Look at a piston headlight. That's wild.
PBX engine.
Yeah, 6.
I knew it was a Honda.
Look at the carbs, right?
Perfect specimen, you know, to be a supermodel. You got 6 ready to girls. Come on back, baby. You got the old flopper. No matter, roll under your shoulder and come on back. That girl's absolutely perfect. So easy, she could win $100 from this place. Easy, $100. I'll do it again. It's time to come on back. We gotta get you the t-shirt. Girl, we're gonna give you a t-shirt back there. We'll make it look beautiful.
Another Magna.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Like shit, they're all over the place. Ouch. That's Bondo that's scraped away.
Another customer for Wendy.
And it's for sale. You can get it cheap.
Look at the tail of the dragon.
Oh my God, look at it. Tail of the dragon. duct tape in the front. Custom tape. That's how I picked mine.
I know. I taught you. You forget.
Those are full.
It goes on.
Nice paint here. Exercise. The 3 best looking bikes on the planet are still here. Daytona Beach. Oh my God.
I'm going to be a minute because I want to call Scott.
Call Scott and see what we're doing.
Somebody else on. Bruno.
Famous Daytona Rolex. Man, this is awesome. This is going to be one of the coolest things I've ever gotten. When we get into our first of our intros, we'll send it back to the tower back. Indeed, Richard, all of the riders who joined us here just need to get a little advisory for them. They need to start clearing the grid. Pat? And again, we'll echo that. Those fans that were able to get right down in the middle of our introductions and do the tour up pit road to perhaps check in with your favorite rider. We ask that you now kindly clear the grid of all of our race fans and also make your way back across the Supercross track and up the stairs into the main grandstand here in the Tri-Oval. We do appreciate your cooperation in clearing that area as quickly as possible. And Chris Carter, you and I have been here at Daytona for decades now. We've seen so many of those. You did great in your very first 200. The motorcycle MPH really put a great looking machine under you. How's it been? It's been cold, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been cold, but Rick Matheny from RM Racing did a great job. I think I've stepped...
Motorcycle
wait, just before that.
He passed a couple guys.
How about the second one?
That slick's fourth right now.
I think he's down the fifth.
Maneuver through the grass, but there were 3 down. I saw 2 riders up immediately, and I didn't really get a good count on how many bikes were down. Perhaps you have a better look with the binoculars from the tower. Pat?
I think it was about 3 or 4 there in the infield. There were probably about 8 or 9 motorcycles involved in total. Or as he takes the win. The margin of victory here over Dane Westby, 7.964 seconds. Steve Brown across the line in third.
It's 2 seconds and he run it to 7.
Danny Esling will bring it home here in fourth. I'll give you a complete rundown of this starter.
There he goes.
Aaron Ewing in that might turn a bit of a fine, I think, somewhere along the way. But what a race, and you've got to feel sorry for, being caught and should have been up there. You've got to feel sorry for Martin Campinas, another man who could and should have been up there.
Oh, yeah,
but it wasn't to be. It was John Herring's day, and what a star he's been. This year, he finishes the business.
He works his way down to that west horseshoe turn, waving to the crowd that has lined the fences, and boy, we're retreated to an outstanding race here this evening. The first 20 laps were absolutely electrifying, and there he is up on the tag, the stars and stripes leathers of the Graves Yamaha squad, and of course Chuck Graves, who put this team together. Aaron second here in the Daytona 200 a year ago. One better here today. He's going to try to light up that rear Dunlop tire, and boy, that tire was given lots of torture over that last segment of the race. But he is celebrating a Daytona 200 win with a big smoke show over here in turn number 6 of the infield.
Yeah, I think Dane Westby's over there with a little smoke show of his.
In typical American fashion, Ford said, well, the heck with those guys, we're going to build our own.
Yeah, like
So-
Carroll Shelby thing.
Yeah, they built the Ford GT, the GT40, and they went out and took first, second, and third in all the races against Ferrari.
No, so that must have made him popular.
And then in 2005, they built these, and in 2006, so they made like 4,030 of them.
Okay.
And this particular model here is a 2006, and it's the commemorative edition in this tungsten gray. And my estimate is they made about 400 of these.
Whoa. Now, what is the extra pedal for there?
It's just to put your foot against.
Oh, okay. During hard braking and... In other words, you have a brake, a clutch, and an extra... The other one's just a solid piece.
Right.
Okay. Oh, that is nice. You know I like gray. You know I'm a gray guy too.
I was so adamant about getting this color that I considered not getting one if I couldn't get this color. But I did have a black one with silver stripes picked out in Lubbock, Texas.
Now we did have, at one of our cruise nights, we had one that was red with a white stripe and Florida plates. I don't know if you know the guy, or like you guys all know each other, or
No.
like the Ferrari guys and the Lambo guys all seem to know each other. Those wheels, wow. Talk about metal finishing. We always talk about metal finishing. Those wheels, Art.
Yeah.
Nice. It's about as much fun as it gets. Being in Florida, Daytona Bike Week, hanging out with Scott and the boys, ex-NASCAR driver Art Thomas, world famous number 35. I guess you gotta nudge it. Look at the paint on this in the sun. Check, that is B25 silver if there ever was one. Wow, look at that. Is that ever cool? We're gonna try to shoot some still pictures here too, while we got the opportunity. Really fast motorcycle. The first couple times, whoa.
Isn't that amazing?
Jeez. The first couple times you really get it going fast. You go, whoa. It, like, when you think about it, you think it's gonna be the same at 100 as 150, and it isn't.
No.
It just changes everything. This is the drive I love. Oh, this is unreal.
Well, the thing I love about this car, you know, I built a lot of muscle cars and a lot of old Corvettes. And the older cars, the older muscle cars, when you get on them, the front end would come up. Even the Corvettes, they'd come up and they'd stay up until you let off the gas. So if you're running 150 miles an hour or 120 miles an hour in one of those cars, the front end's up and the road gets real narrow.
Oh yeah.
Because they start to just want to kite. And that's the thing I noticed about this car is if you're going fast, you always want to have the windows all the way closed. And you can drive it with one hand at whatever speed you're going, and it makes
it's a rock.
Yeah, it's a guy like me that doesn't have a lot of, you know, sports car driving experience.
Yeah.
It'll make you think you're a better driver than you are.
Yeah, I bet you can get in trouble too.
Yeah, they wreck about one of these a month.
Ooh.
Because they're just so brutally fast, and they fool you into thinking that you're better than you are.
No, I'll bet. Oh, they got the bikes all loaded up for the ride back to Ray's. At the Super Bowl 50-yard line. Well, that added a nice little extra cherry to the sundae of this trip. And the guys are loading up the cars. We're going to shoot a few more pictures, and we're going to be headed back to Tampa. Well, we are back from Daytona, and it turned out to be 8 of the greatest adventure days of my life. I got to ride the bike I haven't ridden since '74, one of my old race bikes. We got to ride in a 200-mile-an-hour car, and there's some footage I'm going to splice into the VSC DVDs. I didn't get it all on this tape. We got some more of the races, and we actually have the GT40, a nice high-performance ride around Florida, and I got it all on tape. That'll be on one of our future tapes, maybe one of the VSC tapes when we get bored looking at the old men do their thing, especially me. That usually gets boring right away. But anyway, we hope you enjoyed this DVD. Little trip down to Florida to Bike Week for anybody who's never seen it. Hope you got some ideas for your next paint job. The next part of our adventure is to get all this in the box. We got lines from Kent Tyser. We just want to get the handle and lines all set. And on the next tape, we're going to be packing and heading out to VSC. Well, actually, we're going to spend 3 days in Phoenix first, and then we're going to head out to VSC. So, should be quite an adventure. It'll be my first time at VSC. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but if you haven't, it may be your first time too. And we'll see you on the next tape. And by the way, that ride in that GT40, I'll never forget that. That was really special. And we'll see you on the next tape.